there and made a few steps and got on to harder stuff. But it was definitely 1, 2, 3 like this. And I told Don, I said, man, this looks like an elephant track. I mean, it's great big like that. But don't know what it was. The rock what?
The print. Footprint.
I can't say. I can't say.
Yeah, all right.
Well, the Paiute said they were red-haired. Yeah, from their legend, yeah. Anybody else back there?
Yeah, you said the handprint was approximately 18 inches, which is about 3 times the width of my hand. The skull, I can't tell how big it is. Is it 3 times the size of my skull?
I don't think the skull belonged to that handprint. That handprint was much larger.
Yeah, if it goes to that skull is twice the size.
Right, that should be an individual running 18 feet tall, probably. Go ahead.
The skull that has 2 rows of teeth in the bottom jaw also has 2 rows.
I don't see them, but it's got more teeth than it should have. They're crowded.
Can you show that picture to us again with the double rows?
Sure. Let me go back. Let me just get out of it. This is looking from below, kind of looking up at it. There's more bottom teeth than it should be, but they're not in the form of 2 rows. They're crowded. They're just all crowded in there, compacted in. Go ahead.
Can you do the size by size comparison?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to tango with him. Well, you know, just for the record, I believe the Paiute story. I have a lot of reasons to believe it. Go ahead.
So do you think you'd be in danger if you encountered a Bigfoot, or do you think they will fall for that track?
I hear both stories. I haven't personally experienced being in danger, and I've been close. I've actually seen a couple down there in the Bluff Creek area, and they were always more than willing to get out of the way.
Do you think they're just different species from the red hair ones?
I don't know the circumstances around this and what caused it. You know, there's all kinds of things. In those days, you know, it was different. The climate was different. The lake was full of water. You don't really know why these people came down out of the mountains and started eating people. You know. You get a better picture that way? Good. Anybody wants to take a picture, take it. Go ahead.
Why do you think the government or whoever, the museums, got rid of these skulls? Maybe they're in the Smithsonian in some kind of a box, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Why do you suspect that they would get rid of the evidence?
I don't know that they have, but they sure say that they not only say they don't have it, they never have it. They never have it. They said that. They're saying it now. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
What museum was this at?
This was at the Humboldt Museum in Winnemucca, Nevada. And you know what? I mean, they should explain this. You know, they shouldn't get away with it. Go ahead.
What's your theory on why they changed the sign?
To change what sign?
Didn't you say when you first went there, they said that the red-haired people were welcome, and now it says they're not allowed?
Well, no, it's what it means is there is no such thing as. That's what that slash means. No red-headed giants. But when I first went there, they would give you a piece of paper telling the whole legend. You know, It was a complete turnabout. And this lady was very hostile, very hostile. She came out, John and I stopped and we're taking our pictures against the backdrop of the museum. And I think she thought we were documentary filmmakers. And she came out and chewed us up one side down the other, took our pictures. And of course, I'm from the South, and everything is protocol in the South. You know, you can chew people out, but you gotta kind of go through a little a process. And I told her, I said, lady, now you be nice now. I said, there's no need in getting all fired up. And I went back in there, and we talked some more with her, calmed her down, but there was it was unexplained anger. You know, it was she was giving us too much punishment for the crime. All we did was go in there, we were going to take some pictures. They had lots of interesting stuff. And as we made our way around the museum, they would cut the lights off. You know, as we made our way around. Just hostile. And you know, museums make their money from people coming to see them. So you know how, I don't understand their actions. But they got some explaining to do. Go ahead.
Do you think the BLM or other government agencies are doing the same kind of cover-up as this, as far as Bigfoot investigations?
I'll tell you this, in the Patterson filming, there was a young man who was 19 at the time. A timber cruiser marked the trees to be cut. His name was Lyle Laverty. Lyle Laverty now is Deputy Secretary of the Interior. How would the government not know? You know, it's just not any way. So, you know, why they won't acknowledge, that's the question. They know. Go ahead.
Well, since DNA science has been advancing so rapidly, do you think they could keep this back and later produce something like that with their DNA science to just expand what they can do?
Ma'am, I don't know. They have access to things that we don't know anything about. And I know you know that. What they know about DNA and what they're able to do and why they would do it, possibly, maybe, because you just don't know. I think that we live in an age where, you know, the government used to be us. You know, and now it's kind of like us and them. And when it gets like that, they got these really unlimited resources. You know, and if they run out, they tax and get more. You know, they spend trillions of dollars on just whatever they want to, and when you got money like that to throw at technology, and yeah, it could happen. But I don't know that it has. Go ahead.
I may have missed it earlier, but who brought that skull out?
Don't know for sure. The cave was first gone into by the guano miners. It's got a kind of a storied checkered past too. Then a fellow named Darrington went in behalf of the Smithsonian. He was only 19 years old. And he got with a man named Llewellyn Loud, who was over there at the Phoebe Hearst Museum. And he was studying to go on missionary work in Africa, and he wanted them to teach him about Africa and the anthropology of Africa. And then he heard about this and he got interested. So the two went together and they exhumed 10,000 artifacts out of that cave, with neither one having any particular skills. I mean, they weren't accredited or anything. There was really no anthropology going on. It was just kind of a loose, do what you can, study it yourself. And many of the artifacts did not go to museums. They went to private collections, and the state of Nevada traced duck decoys. These things were priceless. They found them in a basket in the floor of the cave. There were duck decoys that were made of the actual feathers of the duck weaved into tule reed. And they found them on a guy's mantle in Florida. And they were able to retrieve them. And now they're in the Nevada museums, where they should be. It's kind of just a storied What caught me with interest is that Llewellyn Loud was bunking. His roommate was Ishi, the last wild Indian that come out of the woods, the last of his tribe. You remember with Graham Greene, and you remember the movie? That's who he was bunking with. And it kind of led me to believe that maybe Ishi cued him in on some things, you know, because he seemed to know immediately. He had a pen pal thing going with Atlas Herlishka at the Smithsonian, who was running the anthropology department. And next thing you know, the Smithsonian's digging the thing up. But they run out of money, and they leave, and the townspeople go out there, and they say, hey, they're getting all this stuff out. Let's get some out ourselves. So they dig just giant mummy out. It was like 8 feet tall. And they put it in a giant pot and boiled it. And then they had an initiation ceremony for a civic group. I don't even know who it was, but it's in Emery Strong's book. And they drank the broth. So, I mean, look, I mean to tell you now, that's pretty weird. But that actually happened. It's documented. So some of the mummies one ended up in the Carson City Mark Twain Museum, and a lot of people saw it. And then when the Repatriation Act came, they were afraid that they would have to give it back to the Indians and have it reburied, so it disappeared. And I talked to a lady.